Welcome to Melrose Unitarian Universalist Church. Our service today is called Opening to Joy. I am the Reverend Dr. Suzanne Intriligator. My pronouns are she and her, and I am full of joy to be here in this place, in this time, with all of you, here in the sanctuary and at home watching us on Zoom. Today's service is all about joy, about preparing ourselves to see it and embrace it when it shows up in our lives, even when we don't feel like it, maybe especially when we don't feel like it. Joy is our birthright and our freedom. It is within us and around us, part of everything that's alive and also hidden in plain sight. Let us open our hearts to this moment today and prepare the way for joy. Not coincidentally, today is also the day of our church Christmas party. Come on down or stay here after church and enjoy some lunch with us on the front lawn. We will chew and chat and catch up with each other, and then we will break off for some fun activities. Some folks will gather on the side lawn for our drop-in choir experiment we've been doing for a few weeks now. We sing carols and make videos for Christmas Eve. Everyone is welcome. Other folks will come back in here to decorate the Christmas tree and the whole sanctuary. And some others will also gather in Parish Hall to play with our nativity costumes. You can take fun photos with them, and then we hope you'll take a few reverent ones here in the sanctuary that we can use to illustrate Christmas Eve worship. And then we can all change places and try all the other activities. It should be an hour of joy for everyone. Speaking of Christmas Eve, it would help us to know if you plan on coming in person, so we can make sure that there's enough room for everyone at this inn. We've got a sign-up sheet going, and you can access it from our homepage or from our newsletter. If all the seats fill up for the 2 services we have planned, we can add another service, if you just let me know. Right now, there's plenty of spaces. So if you're a party of 1 or 2, please don't feel like you have to team up with others. You're welcome to sign up. You don't have to crowd yourself in. We have plenty of spaces. We just need to know so that we can plan as well as we possibly can. This coming week here at church, there's a few things to keep in mind. There are only 2 days left to get on board with the Giving Tree Project. This year, once again, we are giving gifts to the deserving families who are connected to our UU Urban Ministry. Check it out on our homepage, please, before Tuesday, because on Thursday, Mary Beth Griscom and I are going down to Roxbury to share your generosity with those good people. Aren't we, Mary Beth? She's here. Yay, Mary Beth. Quick note to say that next Saturday is the men's group Yankee Swap event. It was postponed from yesterday due to some yucky weather in the morning. If you want to take part, there's still time. Check our newsletter for more info and the email address for Don Bissix. Next Sunday, I will be here as usual, hosting the hybrid service, and we will have people here and online, but we will also have a guest preacher. The Reverend Aisha Ansano, the new community minister affiliated with the UU Malden Church, will explore how food and hospitality nurture our spirits. It will be delicious. So, that's it for announcements for now. Let's take a moment to thank today's volunteers. We've got the lovely and talented Jim Duncan back there as our in-person usher. Thank you, Jim. And then there's Ginger Lazarus, who is serving as our chat host on Zoom today. Thank you, Ginger. And before we get going, just one more last thing, but I know it's one of your favorites, a testimonial. Periodically in our worship, a church member steps forward to offer us a personal reflection related to our monthly theme. This morning, on behalf of our Pledge Drive team, board member Kathy Sang connects our December worship theme, which is Opening to Joy, with her own spiritual journey. Thank you, Kathy.
So as Reverend Suzanne said, I am Kathy Sang, and I've been a member of this church since 2016, and I'm a member of the board, and I want to share with you today a little bit about me and the joy I find in being part of MUUC. Like many of you, I was not born or raised a UU. My family identified as Jewish, but didn't participate in the faith beyond sending my brother and I to Sunday school, while they stayed home reading the New York Times and enjoying their coffee, having us stay home from school on high holy days, but taking us to the beach club, not to temple, and lighting the menorah for Hanukkah. But we celebrated Christmas too. It's no wonder I rebelled and turned away from Judaism in high school. In college, I felt a yearning to explore other religions and accompanied a boyfriend to services at Park Street Church, a Quaker friend to a meeting, and took some religion classes at Boston U, but nothing felt right. When I married, my husband's family was Lutheran, but like me, he didn't identify with his family's faith, so I continued my life journey with no spiritual support. Throughout my life, I've experienced lots of joy, a deep love of classical music, theater, dance, and art from a young age, a wonderful husband who I dearly loved and respected and lost way too early, a beautiful, talented daughter who has blessed me with two equally wonderful grandsons, a challenging, exciting 40-year career, many wonderful friends, a number of them part of this church, and now a comfortable retirement. A special gift I received as I neared retirement was an unexpected introduction to Unitarian Universalism. The first time I entered a UU sanctuary in San Diego for a friend's memorial service, I felt a surprising comfort, like being wrapped in a warm blanket. In the coming months, as I attended services and got to know members of the congregation, I realized I'd been a UU all my life. I just didn't know it. When I moved here to Boston area in 2015, I found a new home at MUUC. I've gladly given of my time and talent over the years by being part of the Finance Committee, the annual pledge drive, the search committee for Reverend Suzanne, the Women's Retreat, the annual auction, various harvest and alternative fairs, and now the Safety Task Group, as well as the board. I've given of my treasure, too, starting small as I got used to living on a retiree's income, but increasing my pledge a little every year so that I now give about 5% of my adjusted gross income. Joy is everywhere. Sometimes we just fail to see it. Being part of MUUC brings me some of the greatest joy of my life. It brings me comfort and inspires me. I hope it does for you as well.
Thank you, Kathy. That was lovely. Now, it is time for our weekly moment of greeting. Those here in person can wave to each other and say hello. Please do. Turn around and say hi. Folks on Zoom, please switch to gallery view and scroll through the pages, wave to each other, and say good morning. Is the Zoom grid up here? Can we see folks at home? Oh, yes. Hello, folks at home. Hello, folks at home. It's good to see you. Yay. Thank you all for coming this morning. It's lovely to have such a good group here. I'll call us to worship with these words from the Reverend Megan Visser. This morning marks the third Sunday in the season of Advent. In the Christian tradition, Advent is the beginning of the church year, recognizing the transforming power of God in the world and looking forward toward the birth of Jesus and the celebration of spiritual light. Each week until Christmas, we light a new candle on the Advent wreath, These days, when so much asks for our attention, the lighting of one candle after another reminds us that this season must pass in its own time. Birth cannot be rushed. We have the choice to be awakened and to fully inhabit the present moment. This morning, we light 3 candles, the first 2, and then the third candle is the pink candle. It's a symbol of joy, not just simple cheer, but the experience of a joy that bubbles up unbidden, a joy that cannot be contained. Advent asks us to proclaim our gladness, our profound joy in living, even when sorrow and uncertainty abound. Advent invites us to have faith in joy and a joy in faith. Let the fullness of our joy lead us all toward more freedom. Amen. And now, along with Unitarians and Unitarian Universalists around the world, we light the symbol of our faith, which is the flaming chalice right there. This morning, our chalice will be lit by longtime member Jane Foley, and then she will offer us a reading to go with it.
Deep calls us unto deep. Joy calls us unto joy by Gordon B. McKeeman. Deep calls us unto deep. Joy calls us unto joy. Light calls us unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light wherever we are.
Our opening hymn this morning is a rousing introduction to our December theme of opening to joy. The Resistance Revival Chorus is a collective of more than 60 women and non-binary singers who came together in 2016 to breathe joy and song into the resistances. Right after the song, there's a short spoken bit that tells you a little about their mission. So let's sing along. Please rise.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, this strength that I have, this strength that I have, this strength that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have. Oh, yeah. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have. Oh, yeah. The world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it. The world can't take it away. Oh, this love that I have. This love that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This love that I have. Oh, yeah. The world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this love that I have, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Singing, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, this pride that I have, this pride that I have. This pride that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this pride that I have, yeah, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. All this peace that I have, oh, yeah. The world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give me my peace that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. Won't you sing about peace? This peace that I have. Oh, yeah, now. The world didn't give it to me. I said the world didn't give it. The world can't take it away. All this joy that I have, this joy that I have. This joy that I have. Oh, yeah, now, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have. I said the world didn't give it to me. Don't you know that this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, I said the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it and the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Resistance Revival Chorus believes in the words written by the poet Toy Derricott when she wrote, "Joy is an act of resistance." We believe in the words of Mr. Harry Belafonte, who said, "When the movement is strong, the music is strong." We sing to revive the hearts of those who fight for social justice, and we sing together for freedom.
Thank you. Now please remain standing and join me in the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. This one with another and with our God. Thank you. Please be seated. And now it's time for our story. This week, a treat. Tara is going to be telling and singing our story.
Our story this morning is Your Name is a Song by Jamila Tompkins Bigelow, illustrated by Louisa Uribe. I'm not coming back ever again, the girl stomped. Please don't stomp unless we're stepping in a drill team, Mama said. Was your first day of school so bad? The girl looked down. No one could say my name. No one, not even your teacher, Mama asked. She tried. It got stuck in her mouth. A street musician swayed and played. Mama closed her eyes until she swayed too. Tell your teacher that your name is a song. The girl wrinkled her brows. I can't say that. Names aren't songs. Sure they are. Take the name Olumide. Olumide, Olumide. Olumide is a melody girl, and so is Kotone. Kotone, Kotone. The girl whispered names, tap, tap, a tap, when her feet. Mamadou is a beat. Mamadou. Talun, tando wetu, stretches out like a love song. Tando wetu. Yes, girl, names are songs. Sing your name. Your teacher will learn to sing it too. The girl did a jig as they walked on, but then her feet slowed. Umi, she called to her mama. During snack, some girls pretended to choke on my name. At the red light, a car boomed hip-hop beside them. The bass pounded from their head to their toes, even in their chests. Pat, pat, pat. Mama patted her chest. Tell those girls some names must be said from here, not the throat. Names come from your heart? The girl asked. Say the name Ha from there. Ha, 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 ha. You gotta go deeper to say aham. Ahlam, ahlam. As they crossed, the girl touched her chest. Juana is here. Juana, Juana. Ngozi goes deeper still and pokes me in the stomach. Ngozi, Ngozi. Yes, girl, from your heart, say your name, and those girls will learn to use their hearts too. On her toes, the girl rose and kicked as they walked on. What about the kids at recess who said, my name sounds made up? Mama pointed up. Tell them that made-up names come from there. From the sky, the girl asked. Made-up names come from dreamers. Their real names were stolen long ago as they dreamed up new ones. They make a way out of no way, make names out of no names, and pull them from the sky. The girl reached up to pull names too. Tache, Tache, and Trayvon, Trayvon, Trayvon. They sit on clouds with Julante. Mama nodded, and Laquan, Laquan, and Lamika, Lamika are the twinkle in stars, the glimmer in minds that think and tinker. Are these names new songs, the girl asked? Yes, girl, tell everybody to learn new songs too. The girl twirled and leapt to the sky, and they walked on. The next day, the girl didn't want to go to school, but she had songs to teach. Line up, Miss Anderson hollered. And then Miss Anderson hollered names. Benjamin, tap, tap, a tap, went the girl's feet. Here. Siobhan, tap, a tap. Here. Olivia, tap, tap, a tap. Here. The girl stopped tapping. Her name was getting stuck in Miss Anderson's mouth again. The girl sang, and the whole class stared. What are you doing? Miss Anderson asked. I'm singing my name so you'll learn it. Names are not songs, Miss Anderson huffed. Miss Anderson, sang the girl. Miss Anderson frowned. Your name is a pretty song, said the girl. Miss Anderson's frown slowly turned into a smile. Why? Thank you. What about me? Bob asked. What's my song? Bob, 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 Bob. Other kids asked for songs too. She sang and sang and sang their names. Miss Anderson asked, could we hear your song again? And the girl sang her name. Cora, Jolly Muso. The teacher sang it back. Cora, jolly muso. One kid sang it, Cora, jolly muso. And then the other one, Cora, jolly muso. And another, Cora, jolly muso. Everyone sang her name, Cora, jolly muso. And it was music to her ears. The end.
Thank you so much, Tara. That was very fun. Sooner or later, I'll get everyone to sing Interligator with me. Each week, we take time out for prayer and meditation, a time for each of us to center ourselves and connect with the holy in whatever way that works for us. Let's start now by relaxing into our chairs, feeling our feet on the floor, letting our bodies settle. Let's breathe in and out together. In this meditation time, first we'll join in our centering song, then we'll sit for a few minutes of shared silence, then we will speak to one another of our joys and sorrows, and I will lead a prayer. Our worship theme for December is Opening to Joy, and our centering song in honor of Advent is People Look East. Today's version is sung by our whole choir. Please join in as you like. After the song, we will share 2 minutes of silence.
Thank you.
Every Sunday, we share with one another the joys and sorrows of our lives, our personal milestones. We listen with heart and we witness with compassion, letting this sharing weave us into a strong community. If you have a sorrow to share today, the people in the room have written it on paper and handed it to Jim. People on Zoom, please type it into the chat box and I will read them aloud. Jim, do you have any sorrows on paper? I don't believe the mic is on. There we go. That one you have to get really close to.
This is a sorrow from Henry for the loss of my best friend's father, Donald Leahy, and my mother's good friend, Mal Vincent. This is a sorrow from Jenny W. A candle of sorrow for the passing of Joe C., a former long-term partner of my best friend, Travis. Joe died on Friday morning at the age of 38.
From Nita, a candle of sorrow and concern as my 92-year-old mother begins hospice care in Western New York. From Donna Clifford, a candle of concern for my nephew who has COVID. From Brian, my neighbor Jack died this week. He was a great barber and an even better neighbor. From Alistair, I lost a friend and mentor last week. My friend and music partner also lost his mother, thinking of them both. Ginger, have I missed any chats or any sorrows from inside the chat room?
I don't see any more.
Thank you. Let's take a moment now in the quiet of our hearts to hold these sorrows with love. Let us remember to reach out to all people who are hurting today, offering our kindness. Jim, please light one candle, the gray one, as a beacon of care for all the sorrows spoken and unspoken today. And now I ask for all the joys that you have to share. Type them into the chat box and I will read them aloud. I don't see any joys yet. Jim, do we have joys on paper? Yes.
We have a joy from Dan Griscom. Joy at worshiping in person with you all.
From Brian, joy of wandering. Any other joys today? From Lisa Wright, candle of joy for being on the mend after having colds that sent one of us to the ER. From Jean, joy that our daughter got her booster shot. From Rebecca, the joy of seeing Christmas through the eyes of my grandson. Oh, my grandchildren, excuse me. From Chris Wells, joy that our sons are fully vaccinated. Ginger, did I miss any joys?
No, you did not.
Okay. Let us pause for a moment and hold all these joys. Thank you for sharing these joys with us. They help us to connect to one another and to connect to the beauty of living. Now we light one more candle to shine out our thanks for all the many blessings in our lives. Thank you, Jim. Even when our lives are hard, even when we are carrying sorrow and grief, joy somehow pops up anyway, unbidden. It comes like a cardinal landing in fresh snow, a burst of color just because the world is alive. But we can struggle sometimes to let joy in, to open our eyes to the color and the beauty, to allow ourselves to drink it in. Please join me, if you would, in the spirit of prayer. These are the words of the Reverend Joseph Cherry. Joy is hard. Joy requires us to feel safe enough, to be safe enough, to open to vulnerability. To feel joy, you must be brave. Joy walks into a room after the space has been cleared of shame, cleared of doubt, cleared of self-recrimination. Joy is hard. Joy is hard, and joy is worth the hard work of preparation. Preparing oneself and setting down all the defenses, all the shoulds and could-haves, all the should not haves and might haves. Joy is worth the work. You are worth the work. You can start small. The simple pleasure of your favorite tea, the grand freedom of a full belly laugh. Invite joy to be your companion. Amen. Now is the time for our offertory. Our church is a self-supporting organization funded by your generous annual pledge. Thank you. You might also contribute to our weekly collection plate, which we split with a worthy cause. You can donate either way using the orange button in the top right-hand corner of our homepage at melroseuu.org. Folks here in the room can leave their donations in the collection plate at the back on your way out. For December, our giving partner is the Immigrant Learning Center in Malden, which helps immigrant and refugee people in our area succeed. Tara is going to introduce our offertory music this morning.
I spaced. Our offertory music this morning brings us back in time to very old words used to express joy. It's a rendition from our choir of 17th century composer Michael Pretorius's Jubilate Deo. The words roughly translate, "Let's all make a joyful noise to God. Alleluia."
Jubilate Deo, jubilate Deo, alleluia. Jubilate Deo, jubilate Deo, jubilate Deo. Jubilate Deo, jubilate Deo, jubilate Deo. Jubilate Deo, jubilate Deo, alleluia, 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 alleluia.
For our reading this morning, I have an excerpt from the social work researcher, Brené Brown. She writes, "Twinkle lights are the perfect metaphor for joy. Joy is not a constant. Sometimes we miss out on the ordinary bursts of joy because we're too busy chasing down extraordinary moments. Other times we're so afraid of the dark that we don't let ourselves enjoy the light. When I talk with people about their life losses, what they recall aren't extraordinary times, but ordinary moments. They say things like, if I could come downstairs and see my husband sitting at the table and cursing at the newspaper, if I could hear my son giggling in the backyard. My mom sent me the craziest texts. She never knew how to work her phone. I'd give anything to get one of those texts from her right now. Twinkle lights are the perfect metaphor for joy. A joyful life is not a floodlight of joy. That would eventually become unbearable. I believe a joyful life is made up of joyful moments, gracefully strung together by trust, gratitude, inspiration, and faith. Here ends our reading. Joy, joy, joy. Ugh. Blurg, blah. I thought it would be easy this week to write a sermon about joy, but no, it wasn't. Because this is not an easy time in the life of our church, as you likely all know. Many of us, a lot more than usual, I think, are struggling these days with serious health problems or losses. Even more than that, I think we are struggling with mental health issues, feeling run down, exhausted, depressed. This is just a really hard time to be a human being, I think. And I am not here to tell you to paint a smile on that, to look at the bright side or to fake some holiday mirth. No way. I would not ever do that. But I am here to say that no matter how hard life gets, joy still has a way of breaking through, of showing up in the weirdest places against all odds, in ordinary moments, just because. Like when you wake up from a nap to the smell of something good cooking. Or when beautiful music fills your ears and fills your soul. Or when a total stranger stops to help you out for no good reason. Or when a child does something lovely and creative, totally off the wall and delightful, and you get to see it. Ordinary moments that fill you up before you even realized how much you needed that. And I want you, when joy comes to you, and it will, I want you to be able to see it, to pick it up and hold it close and drink it in, because it's good for you. It's vitamin C for the soul. And you deserve it. You really, really deserve it. My colleague, the Reverend Elia Kemmler, our minister in Groton, Massachusetts, shared this reflection. Exactly 10 years ago, when my twins were 5 years old, they fell utterly and sweetly in love with our Christmas tree. They named the tree Green, and their devotion to green grew stronger every day. They took turns feeding Green cups of water. They sang songs to Green and said goodnight to Green and reassured Green that they would be back soon every morning as they went off to kindergarten. One day they discovered that Green liked to kiss, so they held up their cheeks to the branches for Green's kisses, which was so cute it nearly killed me. Unquote. I love that story. I mean, what an extraordinary, ordinary moment in the life of parenting. But here's the thing. Here's the little twist. I think that I love that story so much because it didn't happen to me. I can appreciate it because I didn't live it. If I had lived it, like the many times my own kids did magical things like that, I probably may not have been able to enjoy it fully because I would be so busy trying to capture it, photograph it, record it, prolong it, hold on to it, preserve it in some fundamental way, that I might have missed actually being there. Why do I say that? Because that's exactly what happened to Aaliyah, my colleague. Here's the rest of her story. She says, "I love how much my children loved that tree. But the entire time they loved it, I was also worried. I was worried they would ask me how green came to be a Christmas tree. That they would figure out the uncomfortable truth that someone had chopped green down with an axe and taken her from the forest and from all her tree friends. But my main worry was about what was going to happen when it came time for green to leave us, to be set out on the curb and then be, how shall we say, cremated in our town's annual Christmas tree bonfire. I very seriously considered just keeping green in the living room, maybe for the rest of our lives, so that my kids would not have to experience the sorrow of losing their best friend." Unquote. But 3 weeks later, as it turns out, when the beloved tree finally did hit the curb, the kids barely noticed. Their agile, bustling little minds had naturally moved on to other things, and there was no great reckoning with death after all. All Aaliyah's worry was wasted. Aaliyah calls this tendency of hers to overthink things rehearsing suffering. She says, "I feel the sorrow and pain and anxiety in advance of the actual thing I am worrying about, as if this will help me when the time comes. So either the thing happens and I feel the pain then, along with all the pain I felt in advance, or the thing doesn't happen and I felt that anticipatory pain for no reason whatsoever. This is not helpful, I assure you." Aaliyah writes, "What rehearsing suffering does, though, is it makes it harder to have room for joy, to recognize joy, to rest in joy when it comes." Unquote. Overthinking things, worrying about the ending, waiting for the other shoe to drop, rehearsing suffering. Do you do these things? I know I do. Somehow, somewhere, I got the idea that joy always comes with some kind of price tag. Researcher Brené Brown calls this foreboding joy. Brown says, "It's when we try so hard to hold on to joy, we're afraid that the feeling of joy won't last, or that it won't be enough, or that the transition to disappointment, or whatever is in store next, will be too difficult. We've learned that giving into joy is, at best, setting ourselves up for disappointment, and at worst, inviting disaster." Does that sound familiar to any of you? It's almost like the more we need joy, the more we tend to chase it away or close ourselves off from it out of fear or worry. It's like I said in today's prayer written by Joe Cherry, joy is hard. Joy requires us to feel safe enough, to be safe enough, to open to vulnerability. To feel joy, you must be brave. Vulnerability. I hate that. But it's so true. So much of our holiday stress and our everyday stress, too, comes from trying to control things, trying to make the joy last longer, or to capture it, to keep it from ending, trying to make our lives look perfect, trying to make other people behave the way we want them to. We all know that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. In the end, all we can really do at this time of the year is set the table. The rest is not in our control. The food will burn, or it will come out bland. The kids will melt down, and so will the grown-ups. Some joke or other will land badly. Someone will not like the present you gave them. All of that is going to happen. So why not just let it happen? When we accept that things are out of our control, we can let it be and let it go. We release other people and ourselves from our way too big expectations. And then we can breathe. And then finally, the wonderful thing happens. Space opens up in our lives for joy. Joe Cherry says, joy walks into a room after the space has been cleared. cleared of shame, cleared of doubt, cleared of self-recrimination, all the shoulds and could-haves, all the should-not-haves and might-haves. And when this happens, when the room is cleared, children, animals, birds, they can sense it. They know when we are ready, when we have made a place of peace, a place where joy is welcome. And then they come out. Even teenagers do this. I know that things are hard right now. I know it. But that doesn't mean we can't also find joy. Quite the opposite, really. After all, the miracle of Hanukkah came after a war, after total devastation of a people. They found that Hanukkah, the candlestick, in the rubble of the temple. The miracle of Christmas came in a stable, in poverty and loneliness, fear and sadness, oppression. Even when, and especially when, our hearts are breaking or broken, joy comes if we will let it, if we will set the table in our hearts and open the door. Joy comes. Like a cardinal landing on fresh white snow, like music filling your ears, like when a stranger lends a hand or a little child falls in love with a Christmas tree. Joy is our birthright. Just by being alive, we are witness to a million little miracles popping up all around us. And joy is there for everyone, not just the lucky or the wise, not just the ones who make their beds, whose families are still talking to each other, whose decorations are up and they're not crooked. No, it's for all of us. Because joy comes from outside of us. It comes from the very spirit of life itself. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. This is the joy that I wish for you, the joy I want you to see and drink in and cherish, the joy that whispers in your ear, your name is a song. Twinkle lights are the perfect metaphor for joy. Every now and then we get to feel these little perfect moments, little blessings that come unbidden, little lights that shine to keep us going through the darkness. A joyful life is not a floodlight of joy. A joyful life is made up of joyful moments gracefully strung together by trust, gratitude, inspiration, and faith. Today, I wish for you a joyful moment and the ability to let it in. I wish for you and for me the practice of letting go the need to control, the desire to always want more, to avoid endings, to rehearse suffering. I wish for all of us the quiet practice of breathing in and breathing out, accepting all that is exactly as it is, its chaotic and messy imperfection. May we remember that when we make peace with it, that when we show peace, the little ones and the shy ones, they realize they can trust us. Birds and children and teenagers and loved ones and hurt ones can trust us and show us their delightful, joyful selves. To feel joy, you must be brave. And I know all of you are. I hope today you can let the joy in and let the joy out again. I love you. Amen.
Our final hymn this morning is Let Us Go Out, written by my friend and colleague Pam Blevins-Hinkle, former music director of UU Church of Indianapolis. When she founded her community choir in Indianapolis a few years ago, their mission was the following: to share our untamable joy, to lighten our unnameable pain, and to build intentional community through the power of group singing. So, let's do it. Let us go out with joy. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy. Let us go out and light up the dark. Let us go out, bring joy to each heart. Let us go out, with indifference destroyed. Let us go out with joy.
Thank you, Tara. That was great. Please, if you would join me in the chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. You may be seated. Our worship has ended today. Will there be a postlude? Yes, there'll be a postlude for people in the room can enjoy that for a few minutes. Folks in the sanctuary, in just a minute, will go into their breakout rooms. After that, we will go out to the lawn to chat, and hopefully some more folks will join us then. We'll have some sandwiches and start our Christmas party. Yay! Thank you so much for worshiping with us today. Thank you for being here.